Hello there, Oliver here from Spitfire Audio with a walkthrough for our next labs and therefore free product, the Uilleann Pipes, a traditional Irish instrument recorded by our fantastic labs team at Assumption in Glasgow. Made in collaboration with award-winning composer Hannah Peel, LABS Uilleann Pipes features in her score for the National Theatre production of Dancing at Lughnasa. The Uilleann Pipes have a rich history dating back to the 18th century in Ireland. They derived from the earlier pastoral pipes. They are often referred to as the Irish Bagpipes. The term Uilleann is Irish and means elbow, referring to the bellows used to inflate the pipes. So the Uilleann Pipes consist of several components, including the bag, chanter, regulators, drones and bellows. I'm going to get into detail and play you some examples. The bag is typically made of leather and is filled with air from the bellows. The chanter is the main melody pipe with finger holes used to produce different notes. The regulators, which were developed later, are sets of pipes that provide harmonic accompaniment to the chanter. Usually these are 3 pipes. The drones produce a continuous sound, adding a deep and resonant background to the music. There are usually 3 of them as well: tenor, baritone and bass. So the full set is made up of 7 pipes, and of course the instrument has been integral to Irish culture for centuries, but only in around 1970 it has gained international recognition. And you've probably heard the instrument in Braveheart, which is controversial of course, because it's a film about a Scottish warrior. But James Horner, the composer, said that the Uilleann Pipes would fit much better within the orchestra. It has a softer, less commanding tone than the Scottish bagpipes. So let's have a listen how it sounds like. So this preset is called the chanter, and if we have a look at our UI, we find our typical IIO setup. On the left here, this slider is expression. You can assign it to your MIDI CC controller. It's the overall volume of the instrument. The other slider here are the dynamics. You can also assign this here to your MIDI CC. And that is usually when the players play softly or hardly or louder. But in the Uilleann Pipes, we don't really get these dynamics. So the labs team have implemented some subtle filter changes to give an impression of dynamics. Then on the O here, we find effects such as distance. So if we have this all close. And again, all the way distant. The second effect here are the drones. So all the way down, of course, you turn the drone off. At about 15% here, or third in, you'll hear that the first drone is coming in, so the bass. If we turn it up, you have 2 drones, so bass and baritone. I'll hold the note so you can hear that better. And then if we increase here the percentage, we'll hear that the third drone comes in, the tenor drone. And that is a very typical sound for the Uilleann Pipes. Last but not least, we have a bit of splosh or reverb here all the way up. That's how I like it. And also, if you hit the keys harder, you get a bit of vibrato as well. Which is also a very typical sound of the instrument. Next up is the ornaments preset, which are long notes with accentuated grace notes in the attack. It feels a little more real because if you listen to an actual piper, you'll hear that they play with loads of these kind of grace effects, vibratos, sliding into notes, etc. But we'll get to that in our next preset, the piper's ascension, which basically they bend into a note. They wouldn't really play bended notes in all the notes. So basically when you write maybe with ornaments or the chanter, you would then occasionally use a piper's ascension note here. The next one is cellular, unmeasured flourishes throughout the long note. So here you really can hear those trills. Little bit more distance here, how I like it. Reverb up. So these are the trills that will give you a bit more realism in the performance. Next up are crans. These are longs with regular and abrupt grace notes. Then the tides, that's when the piper is altering the length of the pipe throughout the performance. So you get small pitch shifts and you bring the instruments in and out of tune. Then we have the drone, which typically is bass, baritone and tenor, so 3 notes, and they usually, again, they're played like this. So most pieces you'll hear are actually in D, but of course, because it's a sample library, you can write whatever you want with it and even choose more notes down here, or change pitches, write something in C, or create a different drone. You have the same effects here, distance as well, reverb, obviously no drone because the preset is a drone itself. Then the regulators, again, those are the 3 pipes that are the harmonics, your chords if you will, and you might find the piper play something like this. And if you observe them while playing or piping, it's quite fascinating how they play it with the wrist here. And you know, they might play something like that, so you can have the regulators here on your left hand on the keyboard. Last but not least, we've included some air, which can be cool for certain effects. That's it from me. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Click the links in the description to download our free LABS product, the Uilleann Pipes. Bye bye and see you next time.